Coming to paperback and e-readers from SJS Direct, Isis, House of Isis, the goddess next door takes on a hustling Hotep high priestess in Harlem in this Afrocentric Isis series adventure. Pre-order Isis, House of Isis on Amazon.com today. This is going to be part 2 to a video I did a couple of years ago called The Dysfunctional Ideology of a Consumerist College Education. And in that video I talked about why college degrees have no value in society anymore. And the reason why college degrees don't have any value in society anymore is because a college degree is no longer a barometer of intelligence, it is no longer a barometer of mastery of skill, and it is no longer a barometer of commitment. Because when we take a look at a college degree has changed from a barometer of intelligence, a barometer of a mastery of skill, and a barometer of commitment to a piece of social currency. And it is really a consumer product, no different than a Gucci handbag, a pair of Air Jordan sneakers, or a Lexus sedan. A college degree, for all of its cost, is just something that people have so to say they went to a certain school so they can get social opportunities with people that can lead to employment. It's just another consumer product. And the reason why it became a consumer product is because academia wanted to increase its profits. Because them going out here and saying that a college degree will get you a job, what that led to was a flood of students coming in, and those students were money. That was money from grants that the government gives out, student loans, and from parents spending money on consumer products to supplement those kids, such as laptops, book bags, clothes, bed sheets, and even meals. So when those kids are on that campus, the college is making money for the college, and it makes money by having kids go to college. It's a consumer product that teaches people a consumer mentality, because that's the social culture that kids are learning there. Moreover, they're learning a left-leaning culture at these colleges. That's why I say that it's a consumer place and it's a left-leaning place, because many of the professors there are no longer really focused on teaching people about knowledge or mastery of knowledge. It's more about pushing a political agenda on most of these colleges. It's all about pushing a leftist narrative at these colleges regarding academics and education, and not about presenting things from an objective perspective. Now, 50 to 100 years ago, colleges used to be a place where people could learn from an objective perspective, and the education that they got allowed them to learn things about the world that they could use once they went out into the world. It was a place designed to teach people critical thinking. It was a place designed to teach people an objective picture of history, and it was a place that was designed to teach people how to socialize on those campuses. However, the college has changed from that perspective, because many people saw how much money they could make by having colleges, and the whole college culture has changed more towards consumerism. This is why you will see liberal professors ranting about things like the patriarchy, and then you'll see students like social justice warriors roaming around the campus of many of these colleges with the sides of their heads shaved and dyed purple, holding a cup from a Starbucks that's on campus, not seeing the contradictions behind their actions, and how they are really being indoctrinated into consumer culture, and how they are really being indoctrinated towards views to see the left in only a positive way, and not take an objective look at both the left and the right like people did over 50 to 100 years ago when colleges taught people objectively. Because originally, colleges were a place where people valued knowledge, where people taught knowledge, And they taught knowledge from an objective perspective because they wanted people to see both sides of the story and then come up to their own conclusion. And they wanted people to come to an understanding about the bigger picture as related to civilization and culture. Unfortunately, what has happened is colleges no longer teach from an objective perspective. Instead, they teach from a slanted perspective, and many colleges these days, because they lean towards the left, often teach negatively about certain aspects of culture and then omit parts of history or revise parts of history in order to persuade people to see things one way. And that really does not lead to a person getting a quality education, because a person who receives a quality education is someone who can take a look at both sides, observe both sides, and then come to their own conclusion. But colleges don't want people to do that because they really just want people to be these blind consumers who just follow one lead once they go out the door, because they know once they go out the door of the college and graduate, they want them to go and just immediately continue to be consumers. They want them to consume products, and they want them to consume products in a way that not continues to make money for many of the businesses that they were socialized to believe to be good businesses when they were in school. Because the whole point of college is to indoctrinate people these days to a way of thinking and a way of culture. And it's all about, again, consumerism. And the degree itself has no real value anymore because it's a piece of social currency. And when people leave the college, they find out, in some cases, that that piece of social currency only has value once it travels in certain social circles. For example, if you go to a smaller college like I did, oftentimes that name of that college oftentimes doesn't have any value to people. And because it doesn't have any value to people, people don't want to call you for interviews. And this is one of the reasons why people will go out of their way to spend $100,000 to $200,000 sending their kids to a so-called brand name school like a Fordham University or a Columbia University here in New York, rather than send them to one of the smaller colleges like Monroe College here in the Bronx, because they want to be able to use that brand name to get the attention of potential employers, and they believe that this brand name will get them the attention of those employers, and it will lead to them getting a higher possibility of an interview. Unfortunately, what's happened over the last 20, 25 years due to the consumer degree is that the college degree has less value, because as you have more people in society with college degrees, that means that the value of those degrees goes down, because you have a large supply of college graduates and you have a shrinking supply of jobs. So it's a basic supply and demand thing, and that supply and demand thing gets exacerbated when you look at many of the degrees many students go to college to get, because in the consumerist environment of college, people are not going to college to follow a passion, master a craft, or learn a mastery of skills or create new innovations. What they're going for, again, is social currency. And because they are going for social currency, what they wind up majoring in are majors that have no value to employers. And this is why you'll see someone with a degree working in a place like a Starbucks or a Target, because oftentimes they'll get indoctrinated into this whole leftist culture on these college campuses, and instead of them taking a major that can be used towards a certain employment path, instead they go take a more liberal arts major that really has no economic value to many businesses. And this is why we see so many people going out here majoring in things like women's studies, or women's history, or they're going out here majoring in anthropology, and they're thinking that this is a great thing to major in and get a bachelor's degree in. But oftentimes most employers have no value in that degree. Instead, they value a degree in information technology, they value a degree in business, they value a degree in nursing, they value a degree in pre-med, or they value a degree in law. So they value those degrees because Oftentimes, there's either a specialized skill set with those degrees, or there's a specially mastery of knowledge with those degrees. So when people go to college, they don't understand this. They go in and they think they can just go there and try to find themselves. But when you go to college, you have to really know what you want to do when you get there from day one. Because what most people don't understand about college, because they got caught up in this consumer mentality, is that a college degree should not be a piece of social currency. It should be an investment in your future. And if you're investing in your future, then you need to think about how you're going to spend that money so that it can pay off with a higher return of investment. And oftentimes people go to college and they're not thinking about it from a business perspective, where if you're going to spend $100,000 to $200,000 and take out all these loans, then you should be able to get the highest return investment possible on that money. So your focus should be on getting a high return on investment in that on that money. And that's what you should be doing when you go to a college, is have that type of focus and focus on majors like that. And if this is your passion, then excuse me, that is the place you need to be. And the big thing with this whole consumer mentality is that they tell everybody they need to go to college, when in actuality there are college isn't for everyone. And college, because people are caught up in the consumerist mentality, everybody thinks I need this degree in order to get this high paying job, not understanding that if this is not the place for you, there are other places for you to go and make just as much money than you would at a college. I mean, they're trade schools, people make very good money, and the skill sets are just as important and valuable. And they also create innovations as well at these trade schools. A lot of these plumbers, a lot of these technicians, they can create things as well by seeing how things work, how they work mechanically, and they can create things as well. And this is the big problem as related to consumerist academia, is that they think that everybody needs this degree, when it's actually about them selling this degree as a piece of social currency. And they do that, again, because they need to do this to keep people going to college, so that they can continue to keep the grant money flowing and keep the student loan money flowing, so that the institution can profit. They'll say it's a nonprofit, but a college is very much a business, and they are very much selling consumer degrees to people. And a lot of people, they don't know that it's a consumer product until they have the rude awakening, where they go outside to a job market and they find out that the degree has no value with anyone out here. When it comes down to these college degrees, they find out that it's just a consumer product, because people value one degree more than the other, when in actuality it's not really what it was many years ago. A college degree, again, used to be a barometer of intelligence, it used to be a barometer of mastery of skill, and it was a barometer that let people know that someone was committed. But when you look at a lot of today's college graduates, a lot of them, oftentimes, because they have been miseducated in these consumer environments, we don't get to see this as a barometer of intelligence, because oftentimes a lot of these college graduates even need their mothers and their fathers to go with them on a job interview, and they really have a hard time answering simple questions. It's not a barometer of mastery of skill, because we can take a look at a lot of the people who have college degrees and it show us that they really don't know what they're doing, even though they have been taught on this campus and are supposed to be matriculated. They can't handle basic concepts even after years of working some places. And it's not really a barometer of commitment, because oftentimes we look at these people with bachelor's degrees these days and they turn over faster than somebody with a high school diploma. It used to be the guy with the high school diploma, he would stay at a company for over 20, 25 years, and he would master skills, and then he would teach skills to others. But a lot of these college graduates, they wind up quitting their jobs in less than 1 to 2 years, and some of them wind up quitting their jobs in less than 6 months than a year. So that measure of this person being so committed because they were on campus for 4 years, it's not really what I'm seeing when I used to work in the job market. I remember when I used to look at annual reports at a place like a Strive, and I would see so much turnover, and it would be among a lot of these college graduates. And I'd also see it in other businesses when I would read about them. And the reason why I would see it is because people would say, oh, this degree means this person is so committed. But when I would look at the big picture, I would say, these people are not as committed, because you wouldn't be pushed out like that if you were committed. I look at the high school graduate, they would be a little bit more committed with a guy from the trade school because it would mean something to them. But when I look at this college degree, again, it reminds me a lot of these designer handbags, these designer cars, or these Air Jordan tennis shoes. And people are going to college because they are thinking about making big money, but not thinking about their passion. And this is another big problem with the consumer education complex, is that the consumer education complex is all about people having these degrees as like a vanity plate framed on their wall, but not about people being better at what they do. This is why guys like Bill Gates probably dropped out of Harvard, because they weren't about creating something new and innovative. It was all about just theory, and a lot of these professors, because they have been living in a bubble on these campuses, are all caught up in their heads to think about anything new and different. Because, again, colleges used to be that incubator, but it's no longer an incubator because everyone is more caught up in pushing left ideologies and consumer ideologies than actually trying to teach objective knowledge that people can apply towards um, creating new innovations, or creating new markets, or creating new businesses. And this is one of the reasons why colleges are on the decline in America. And as I read in one article, colleges are on the brink of collapse. Colleges enjoyed a very nice bubble for the last 50 years, and it looks like that bubble is going to pop, just like the subprime mortgage bubble popped in 2007, 2008, because a lot of people are starting to see that colleges don't have the value, that the college degree no longer has the value that it used to. And this is why we saw a decline in enrollment among men, and colleges primarily being places for women these days, because a lot of men are saying, look, this college degree, it costs a lot of money, but I can't really get a lot of interviews with it, so it doesn't have a high return on investment. And that's why a lot of more men are opting for trade school than going to college, and women are just going to college, and the environment there is turning into this far left place where it's just, again, all about consumerism and social currency, and the environment at colleges are becoming more and more gynocentric. Now, if you want to go to college, you have to understand, again, that you're going there because you want to follow a passion and master a craft. And if you want to go there, that's what you're going for. If you're not going there for a passion, then maybe trade school is better for you. Maybe a place like where you get different trades and different skills. Maybe that's better for you, or maybe an apprenticeship is better for you. College just isn't for everyone, and you really have to take a minute to think about what you're going to get as a return on the investment for college before you spend a single dollar on it. Because in our culture, we've all been taught we need to go to college and get this degree. But as I see it, people really need to take a minute before they spend a dollar on college to really think about what they want to do before they spend any money on a college degree, and what they're getting into when they step on that college campus. If you'd like to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon by clicking the link in the description box. And if you want to try some of my SJS Direct publications, you may do so by clicking the link to Amazon.com. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.